All right, what's up, YouTube? Counterpunch Boxing. Okay, check it out today. I got a good one for you today. Look, today the video is, for the boxing purist out there. A lot of people are pissed off at the Conor McGregor Mayweather thing. Well, here you go. Here it is. This video today should do you right. Okay, we are going to review I Am Boxing. Okay, now, basically, Golden Boy Promotion, they put out a video, like a promo video, to kind of build up the Gennady Golovkin Canelo fight, and I like what they did. I really do. They did a great job with it. It's like a little 20-minute documentary, and but they kind of revealed a couple of things that it's kind of like these little cryptic messages that of what we can expect with Canelo Golovkin, like possibly a trilogy. Okay, and when I interviewed Oscar De La Hoya in Houston, he mentioned that. He mentioned that. Hey, we might have a trilogy or at least a rematch, that kind of thing. He was talking about Chavez and Golovkin. Because we asked him, if Canelo fought, or if Chavez beat Canelo, would there be a rematch? And then we, basically asked the same question about Gennady Golovkin. So he said, yeah, hell yeah. So, it's kind of weird that now they're, now they're talking about it in the documentary, or at least they're referring to fighters in the past, like a Jake LaMotta and a Sugar Ray Robinson that fought 6 times. Okay, so, but let me get into it. Okay, right here, Sugar Ray Robinson. Look, people ask me all the time, who my favorite boxer is of all time. And that's easy, no brainer. Sugar Ray Robinson, okay, no brainer. Quickly, 200 fights, 173 wins, 108 knockouts. He would take any and all comers from 129 pounds to damn near light heavyweight, 173 pounds. Of course, he was, ranked as a middleweight. So, just an incredible boxer. To me, he's like a mythical character. It's like, just an incredible career. I'd have to make like a 10-hour video to go over his record, but his official record, 173 wins with 19 losses, 6 draws. Last fight was November 1965 against Archer. Of course, he lost in that fight. Died in 1989, I believe. He was like 67 years old, 5'11", 72.5-inch reach. Pro debut, October 1940, which they considered, the golden age of boxing. So let's get into it, okay? Again, what I liked was how they kind of built up. They went back to the 1940s and they built up to where we're at today in boxing. And, a part of me is a little bit embarrassed at where we're at today in boxing. But then again, there was always bullshit in boxing, okay? Even in the 40s, the golden age, even with the 4 kings, the Hagler Hearns, at any generation, there's always been, things we don't like about boxing. So, you have to remind yourself of that, with the times, and things change with the times. So, the golden age of boxing was great, yes, but it was also bloody, brutal, corrupt, violent. There was just a lot of, a lot of dirt going on back then as well. So, but what I like they talked about, and I remember this as even being a kid, back when I was watching Muhammad Ali on TV, and of course I grew up in the 90s watching Tyson, but they talked about how boxing was like the heartbeat of America, the heartbeat of the world, the nation, really, especially in America, how, I remember, any coffee shop you go to, any restaurant, anywhere you go, people are talking about boxing. Boxing back then, especially in the 40s and the 50s, it was like NFL is today. It's all people talked about. Any little kid, they wanted to be a boxer. When I was like 10 years old, 8 years old, I had my first punching bag, so I grew up in a culture around boxing, so I really liked the documentary and what they did with it. But they focused on Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta. Like I said, I think they were making the comparison to Canelo Golovkin. Of course, if you guys don't know, I'll quickly tell you. Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, they fought 6 times, and Sugar Ray Robinson won 5 out of 6, so, and then, I mean, you've heard the Bloody Valentine, My Bloody Valentine, Jake LaMotta, and Jake LaMotta said, you never knock me down, or you can never get, or you could never put me down, Ray said, Ray, you could never put me down, so, and that was back when they had 15-round fights, by the way, 15-round fights. Now, another cliff note I want to add about Sugar Ray Robinson is the only time he went down was basically from the heat. Okay, he was fighting Joey Maximum and basically the Sun. He had a heat stroke, and I think it was like another 15-round fight outside, in like the 100-degree heat. And basically, Sugar Ray Robinson, he had a heat stroke, and they put him in the shower, and he's like, did I get knocked out? Did they knock me? Did he knock me down? He's like, no, the heat got you. So they make a joke that the only thing that could ever bring Robinson down was the Sun, right? Something as big as that. So, but anyway, let's get into it. Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to show you guys a bunch of pictures as we go. But yeah, just a quick look and a review of I Am Boxing. Now, as far as the actual production goes, I like it. I like what they did, but what I didn't like was the narrator. He was like, oh no, he had this weird like I am boxing, almost like this what's his name? From Transformers. What's the big truck's name? I forget his name. He had like this robotic deep voice. What the hell is his name? Optimus Prime from there you go, from Transformers. He's like, just had this like, I am boxing, this crazy deep weird voice. I didn't like that. And then at the very end, they had Ice Cube, talking about, kind of introducing the new age of boxing, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. I even put in my headphones, and like, he was like talking so quickly, I couldn't understand what the hell he was talking about. Like I had to go back and listen to it and go back and listen to it, that kind of thing. But basically, that's why, Gennady Golovkin, he keeps talking about, if you want a real fight, this is true boxing. If you're a boxing fan, then we're going to give you a real boxing match. And like I said, they kind of talked about, the golden age of boxing in the 40s, the 50s, and on. And then they got into, the 1976 Olympics, where, basically that produced a Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the four kings we talked about, the four kings, Hagler Hearns and Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. And they were talking about how, the best fights the best, and now with this new age of boxing that we have, which isn't true, the best doesn't. I mean, look, back then, champions, they didn't run from each other, they ran towards each other. Okay, they didn't have like promoters that were trying to protect fighters. Like, you know what I mean? If there was a guy and they thought he had any chance at beating you, then your ass was in the ring with that dude within a month. There was none of this ducking and dodging and all that. At least not back then. Not back then with Sugar Ray Robinson, and I don't even think really back then, in the 70s and the 80s with the Four Kings, that kind of thing. So and I think that's why, Oscar, he's tried to coin that phrase, the best fights the best. But the problem I have with that, and I don't want to make this a negative video, but the problem I have with that is, we get an Amir Khan, we get a Liam Smith, then we get a Canelo vacating the WBC. We get all these things that totally contradicts what he says. But then in the end, ultimately, he made it right. Okay, so, do you give him a pass, right? Do you forgive him? Like, ultimately, he made it right. There wasn't a catch weight, right? That was one thing. We wanted a true middleweight bout at middleweight, the correct gloves, the correct weight, everything legit, just a clean, pure middleweight fight. And at the end of the day, really, that's what we're getting, so I think he kind of redeemed anything, in my mind, at least. I think Oscar De La Hoya, he's good with me. Let me put it that way. He's good with me because he made the fight happen. And I do believe we will get a rematch, because the more, look, the more I talk about it, the more I'm convincing myself that Gennady Golovkin is going to win. Like, I'm not, you know, I mean, I'm like, you know, look, I was pretty much right down the middle, but now I'm like 70-30. You know, the more I think about it and the more I focus on it, you know, the more I look at the body language, and I look at Canelo, and I look at their last fights, and, you know, I mean, look, you cannot go as Canelo. You cannot be Canelo in a Chavez fight, an Amir Khan, you know, a Liam Smith, and then jump into the ring with a Gennady Golovkin. Now, one thing that people will quickly argue is, well, yeah, you can, because Golovkin is not what Golovkin was. And I made a video and showed you guys, I mean, Golovkin has changed in the past 2 years. When I said, you know, during the Miguel Cotto fight, right after Canelo won the WBC and the fight should have went down, in the 2 years it took to make the fight, Gennady Golovkin, he has changed. I mean, I showed you guys in my video, the body changed, his demeanor. Okay, that fire, that hungerness, everything has changed. I mean, I showed you guys. So, you know, they waited him out. So that's my only real criticism for the actual matchup, is it should have happened, you know, about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. So, and then, of course, now, you know, we have Gennady Golovkin talking about retirement, things like that. But, you know, I think he's finally cut that out, which, thank God. But, you know, so here we go, right? You know, the picture you're looking at here, I mean, back in the day, I mean, this is how they got their boxing, okay? They listened to it on the fucking radio, right? And if it was a good fight, they put it in a movie theater where you could go pay a nickel or whatever and go watch boxing. Like, I don't think you guys realize how far boxing has come. I mean, even when I was growing up, you know, we would have to go rent a VCR tape, a VHS, you know, they didn't even have DVDs. I'm talking about like in the 80s, okay? You know, back when the newest thing was like a DVD player. They're like, oh my God, it was like this miracle that, you know, a whole movie could be on this little bitty round thin thing, you know, but we used to actually go to Blockbuster Video and rent boxing fights, you know, matches, because or you caught them live on HBO or a replay on HBO. I remember whenever I was a kid, man, I'd hear that HBO, that dun 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 dun, you know, that fucking song for HBO would come on. I'd come running out of my room because I knew boxing was coming on, you know. So for me, like I said, I've grown up around boxing my whole life, my entire life, you know, involved with the Golden Gloves, amateur career. I mean, I still box to this day. Like, in fact, I think today I might go get a little sparring done. I don't know, maybe. But, you know, it's just so, but that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I like this. I like that they're making it for the purists, you know, for the you know, the pure-hearted boxing fan, you know. So here it is. I mean, this is what we waited for. You know, we've bitched about it, we've complained about it, and now we have it. So, and I can tell you in September, and probably even like the end of August, I mean, I'm going to do nothing but talk about, you guys better get ready. It's going to be like the Canelo Golovkin channel. Like, I'm going to, you know, bring you guys any little detail, any news, I'm going to put it on the channel. So that is my commitment to you guys and to the fight. I mean, it's the least I can do. And for me, it's a privilege, you know, shit, it's an honor to be a part of it in that way, you know, to be a fan and be able to report on it, you know, and to reach out to the masses. Because right now, I mean, you guys know, I mean, my videos, I mean, I don't know, I'm already at, I think, like nearly 2 million views collectively. So, you know, the channel's getting bigger, and I appreciate that. But, yeah, I'm going to show you guys a few pictures. I mean, just a quick review. Like I said, they started at the golden age of boxing. You know, they really focused on Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta. Then they got into, you know, right here, the Four Kings, Hagler Hearns, Leonard Hearns. Really cool artwork, too, in the documentary. Sugar Ray Leonard Hearns, you know, that's that controversial decision there that I want to make a video about that. I had a guy ask me the other day, you know, who do I think won? You know, who do I think won? But I'll leave you hanging. It's a cliffhanger. I'll make a video about it. But here we go. Duran Hearns. Okay, great fight. Great fight. I mean, all these fights, I've watched them 100 times. At least. I mean, I've watched them for years now, over and over and over. But, you know, I don't talk about it a lot on the channel, because here's what's crazy. Okay, I have a boxing channel on YouTube, but when I talk about real boxing, I get like 100 or 200 views, okay? But if I want to talk about, you know, somebody talking shit, I get 100,000. You know what I mean? Like I can put up a video like right now. Paulie Malignaggi just came out and he's basically talking about what happened in the sparring session with Conor McGregor. I want to make a video about it, but then on the other hand, I don't. I mean, I do because I'm interested. And I want to tell you guys about it, but on the other hand, is that really boxing? I don't know. So, but the crazy thing is, the video you're watching right now it's not, I'll be lucky to get 500 views, right? But if I put out a Paulie Malignaggi Conor McGregor, I get 100,000. So, I mean, you see my point. But anyway, I'm gonna quickly go through these pictures here. So, yeah. Anyway, you see the progression here. Okay, they're going. Let's get back here. So, in the beginning, you got the golden age here. They're talking about. Then they get into the four kings and whatnot. And then they're talking about, passing the torch, right? Let's pass the torch right here to Canelo Golovkin, okay, which was cool. I like that. I like how they're talking about, this is like the new age of boxing. Now, what is it, the golden age? What do we call it? The bronze age? I don't know, because I don't want to call it golden. Now, like I said, you got Ice Cube right there doing the narrating, and then another guy like doing a voiceover that sounded like fucking Transformer dude. And then let's see. Yeah, they showed a little bit of training footage. And also, the other day, remember I showed you guys a picture of Canelo and Golovkin in the ring. I didn't see that in the documentary. I mean, I saw this right here, which is pretty cool. But I didn't see that particular artwork. So I think they're doing another promo that we'll get probably like over the weekend, I would imagine. That's what I heard. Like we'll get that promo over the weekend. So, but yeah, it's basically Golovkin and Canelo wearing like really old clothes. It looks like they have like these old beat up leather gloves on, that kind of thing. So, but all right, guys, I'm probably going to leave it at that. Yeah. Let me see if I got any more. Yeah, I mean, basically that's about it. They just showed, and like I said, the artwork is really, really cool. If you guys should go like take screenshots of it, you can use it for thumbnail or Facebook or whatever. I mean, just incredible artwork throughout the documentary. So I like that. Yeah, here's the final picture right here. So yeah, all right. Look, I'll be back later. I'm probably going to. I got a little bit of Canelo Golovkin news I want to talk about, and of course, we got the upcoming fight next. I think it's next weekend, I believe, the Mikey Garcia Adrian Broner fight. So we'll get into that too. So anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a comment below. Sub to the channel. Support boxing. Here we are. Here's your chance. Let's do it.